I'm Daphne Richards, and this is Augie Doggy. Our question this week is, why did our fall blooming plants bloom in the spring? Well, as often is the case with plants, weather is a key factor in their growth responses. Many temperate zone plants mark time with environmental cues. When the number of hours of sunlight begin to get shorter and temperatures begin to cool a bit, that means winter is on its way, a cue to plants that they should begin preparing for dormancy. And when the hours of daylight begin to increase and temperatures get warmer, plants begin preparing to wake up for spring. But when the weather patterns fall out of this norm, cold in winter and warm in spring, the internal timekeeping mechanisms of plants get confused. This past winter, we were abnormally warm and wet, with a lot of cloudy days. To many of our fall blooming plants, this weather seemed more like autumn than spring, and so they thought it was their normal flowering time. I noticed a lot of fall asters blooming around town. If your fall blooming plants bloom this spring and you'd like to encourage them to bloom again in the fall with their normal time, be sure to give them a good shearing to remove the spent blooms and encourage new buds to form. They'll likely stop blooming over the summer, but when our nights start to cool a bit and our days begin to get shorter, they should fall back into their normal autumn blooming habit. Our pick of the week is Texas star hibiscus, Hibiscus coccineus. This wonderful Texas native is also known as scarlet rose mallow. Although related to the tropical hibiscus that are found in Hawaii and other warm, wet regions, Texas star hibiscus is quite happy in temperate central Texas. It grows about 3 to 6 feet tall and about 4 feet wide and dies back to the ground in winter. As with other perennial shrubby plants, wait until temperatures begin to warm up in spring and then prune off all of the top growth down to the ground, and you'll begin to see new growth emerge from the roots. Resist the urge to prune off all the stems in late fall or early winter as soon as all the leaves have dropped off. As the plant is preparing to hunker down for winter, many chemical processes are occurring in those dead stems, and the leafless stems provide a little bit of protection from the cold. Unlike its tropical cousins, Texas star hibiscus can withstand most of our winters, barring any truly harsh freezes. Be sure to mulch well around the base of the plant to protect the roots from any out-of-the-ordinary cold spells. It can take full sun, but also does fine and part shade, although it may bloom a little less. Texas star hibiscus can handle wet soils, but works good in dry ones too. Although it will acclimate to our soils and need very little supplemental irrigation in normal times, if summer is particularly hot and dry, you'll need to water this plant. It spends the spring putting on green growth and then flowers all summer long, attracting a parade of hummingbirds and butterflies to your garden. The flowers are large, off-red, and more open than the showy tropical hibiscus, with 5 very distinct petals. Each flower is only open for a day, but new ones open all summer long. Gardener Randy Case says that Texas star hibiscus have made it through extreme drought and cold in his water-conserving garden. Gail at Natural Bridge Caverns reports that she does not baby them at all. They're the first plants up in the spring and the first ones to reseed in the fall. She doesn't usually have insect problems on them either, except a little pillbug damage and grasshoppers if it's a bad year. Gail also reports that she allows the seed pods to dry and then breaks them and scatters the seeds around where she wants more plants next year. And also, this plant easily propagates by cuttings. Lastly, Gail points out that she has had the occasional visit from the sheriff's deputy, as the leaves of Texas star hibiscus do look strikingly similar to the leaves of a completely different illegal plant. We'd love to hear from you, so please visit klru.org/ctg to send us your questions or plants of the week from your garden.